Well, I suppose that's the lake, and that's what's referred to as Thadakam in Tamil, and that's why the name for this restaurant. That palya has a bit of pepper heat that I can definitely taste at the back of my throat. And I suspect the sambar too will make for a flavorful companion to that pongal. I think any water body has an immediate calming effect on people, and that's really what I feel when I look at this Thadakam too. So the other day as I was riding on this route towards Krishnagiri, I saw this eatery with a very interesting name called Thadakam. And so I put this out on the vlog asking if people had been to this eatery, and I got a few responses from people saying they had been there, and they also told me that Thadakam means lake in Tamil, and there's a lake, I'm told, around the eatery, around the periphery of the eatery. So as we were driving to Chennai today, I said, okay, fine, let's stop here and grab a quick breakfast and also find out what Thadakam is all about. So I think they also have a little bakery there, and therefore Thadakam Bakes and Cakes. Anyway, let's go in and see what's for breakfast at Thadakam. I quite like the name, and I suspect I'm going to use that word a few times through this video. Vanakkam.
Vanakkam, sir.
All this is available?
Yeah, all of it.
Fantastic. What's your name?
Abhilash.
Abhilash. Are you the...
I am the in charge.
You're the in charge. Vanakkam.
Sir, ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು.
ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
Yes. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ ನೋಡೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು.
ನಿಮ್ದು ಹೆಸರು?
ಸರ್ ರಮೇಶ್ ಅಂತ.
ರಮೇಶ್. ನೀವು ಓನರ್?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ ಕಮ್ ಓನರ್.
ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಇದು ರೆಸ್ಟೋರೆಂಟಿಗೆ?
1.5 years. 2 years.
ಹೇಗೆ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ?
ಲಾಕ್ಡೌನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ.
Well, I suppose that's the lake, and that's what's referred to as Thadakam in Tamil, and that's why the name for this restaurant. Well, certainly would make for a nice setting if they had some tables and chairs here. Senirka?
Idli vada, Pongal vada, puri masala, masala dosa, ghee masala, onion roast, uttapam.
Most famous?
Pongal is famous.
Pongal. When Pongal? Is the vada hot?
Yeah, hot.
So we will do one Pongal vada and one ghee masala roast. My dosa is here. This is a ghee roast. Ghee masala. क्या?
Ghee masala dosa.
Dosa. आप north से हो. So therefore, it's the dosa out there. But it's the dosa in Karnataka and dosai here in Tamil Nadu. So we've got the ghee masala dosa with the sambar in a Chinese soup bowl. But I guess there's plenty of sambar in there. Plenty of chutney too. And some pudina chutney. Uddina vade.
Pongal.
And the when Pongal. Thank you very much. I think we'll simplify things a bit. Too many plates on the table. Thank you. In the ideal world, I would have liked them to come one after the other, but then isn't the ideal world. But I think I'm going to make a beginning with that dosa. I can certainly smell some tuppa in that dosa. That palya has a bit of pepper heat that I can definitely taste at the back of my throat. That dosa is a sort that's thin and crisp. There is a tuppa that you taste, but it isn't soaked in the tuppa. As you can see, the dosa, although being a tuppa dosa, is a tad dry. That palya to me overpass the dosa to a certain extent because of its spice. Let's taste that dosa now with some chutney. There's a pleasing chutney with the kai, with the putani. And thankfully it isn't as spicy as the palya. Some dosa, some palya and the chutney. To me that dosa and chutney combination works rather well. That palya also seems to have some sort of a garam masala, sort of a flavor in there, which to my palate doesn't work fabulously well with the dosa. But then, if you like a palya that is spicy, slightly different, perhaps you may want to taste it. There's also a fair bit of echo in this space. So there aren't too many customers now, even as we shoot this. But even if there are 3 or 4 tables, I think there's a fair bit of echo in this space with high ceilings. So I don't know what the audio is like, but I'm hoping that you are able to hear what I'm saying. That sambar is a thick sambar. I can see some vegetables in there, some onions too, tomatoes, some carrot. That's a vegetable sambar. I can definitely taste the lentils in that sambar. That's a tasty sambar. So this place is multi-cuisine in its approach. So I'm told post morning they serve some non-vegetarian food as well. So I guess the flavors here, especially in this masala, this palya that I'm tasting, is a sort that has been influenced to a certain extent by probably some of the masalas that go into the other preparations, right? So the masala here is a little spicy, the palya. Why is that?
Tamil Nadu people, they ask me some spicy.
Let's get to that vade now. That uddina vade. Petite sized uddina vade. There's some onions in there, some kai, perhaps some pepper too. The vade is a tad dense, may benefit from being dunked in that chutney. I'm tasting a fair bit of pepper in that vade. The vade does its job, but isn't really the sort of vade that you will remember for too long after you've left Thadakam. Let's now go for that Ven Pongal or the savory Pongal. I can see the jeerige here. I can see some pepper as well. That Pongal is hot. Suda irka. The vade wasn't suda. The dosa was all right. But this Pongal certainly is quite hot. The Pongal I'm quite enjoying. So you got the starchiness of the rice and also somewhere in there the flavor of the lentils that go in along with the rice to make the Pongal. And then you have the flavor of the jeerige. And somewhere in there you also have some pepper and the curry leaf. That pepper certainly brightens up your taste buds with its peppery notes. And I think there's some cashew too in that bite there. You know, typically when you think of breakfast, at least for me, I'm always thinking of the dosai, I'm thinking of the idli, I'm thinking of the vade. And a pongal, to be honest, is not really the first dish that I will order. But when I came here and asked the gentleman Abhilash, I said, what is popular here? The first thing that he said was pongal. And so grudgingly, after quizzing him a few times on the other dishes, and then finally we ordered the nehi roast dosai or the ghee roast dosai and also the vade, I also decided to order the pongal. So I think that's a lesson for me. So whenever you go to an eatery, ask the servers what's most popular here and listen to the first word that comes out of his or her mouth. And I can tell you 9 times out of 10, that is perhaps the dish that you must order. Of course, as you quiz them more and more, they will start reciting you names from the menu, which is probably a little lower down the popularity chart, but always order the first thing that comes out of your server's mouth, like in this case, the pongal. And I think the role of a dish like the pongal, with the starch in the rice, with the protein in the lentils, and of course the other flavoring that comes from the pepper, the cumin, the curry leaf, etc., is to basically fill your tummy. Fill your tummy so that you can probably be at peace for the next couple of hours or so. And that's really what this pongal also seeks to do. Certainly quite strong in the pepper hit. That pepper has not only set my tongue on fire, but it will also ensure that I remember this pongal even for a couple of hours after I've left Thadakam here in Addakurki village, just about 15 kilometers from Hosur. So from the 3 things that I ordered, the ghee roast, masala dosai, the vadai and the pongal, I must say I enjoyed the pongal the most. The dosai was pleasing, But I felt the palya was perhaps a little too strongly flavored for its role to complement that ghee dosai. If I were to do the dosai here the next time around, I would probably do the dosai plain, the dosai only with the ghee minus the palya. The chutney was nice and so was the sambar. But it was the when pongal, surprisingly, that I have taken a shine to. Of course, in a relative sense, is this the best pongal that you could taste? Perhaps not by a mile. But then when you're on the road and you want to stop somewhere with a view of the lake, I guess in that sort of a situation, this when pongal will do just fine. And I suspect the sambar too will make for a flavorful companion to that pongal. I can taste the puli, the sourness in that sambar, perhaps from some tamarind and the takali, the tomato. The sambar and the pongal makes for a great partnership. Let's also get some of the chutney in there. And I got some godambi in that too. When you're here and if you're here, try the when pongal by itself and with the sambar and the chutney. Oh, there's some pudina chutney here too. I don't know what this chutney is all about. I suspect that's the sort of chutney that will do well with a kebab. So if you come here post 11 o'clock, they also serve their non-vegetarian dishes. And I think that with a chicken kebab will probably hit the spot. Coffee here ka?
Yeah.
Huh? Filter coffee. Strong filter coffee. Sakre kami.
Okay.
Huh? Strong filter coffee. Nandri, thank you. Sugar irka? Kammi. Shakkar kammi. The coffee is nice. I can taste the coffee, which is what I want to do. He says sakre kammi, but still a little too sweet for me. But then I think most people in this part of the world like their coffee to resonate that sweetness. So although you tell them less sugar, they still feel you deserve a little more sweetness, which is what this coffee is all about. But having said that, you can taste the coffee in this coffee. Sounds ironic, but think of it, in most places, if you ask for them to serve you the coffee like they typically would, you will first taste the sugar in the coffee and not the coffee. I think any water body has an immediate calming effect on people. And that's really what I feel when I look at this Thadakam too. So my verdict on Thadakam, I think the place, the setting is quite interesting by the lake, isn't too crowded, especially in the current scenario. So if you are driving out of Bengaluru and you've driven about 50 kilometers and you want to eat something, perhaps you could stop here. I tasted the breakfast fare, which was all right, but I'm told post 11 a.m. they also roll out their non-vegetarian menu. I don't know what it's like. If you've tasted it, do let me know in the comments below. I hope you've enjoyed this quick vlog. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel already, do subscribe. We'll be posting plenty such content on this second channel too. Until the next time, take care, stay safe. Bye-bye.